quarter-final one, which is Chelsea, Real Madrid. So the winners of Man City against Atletico will play Chelsea, the winners of Chelsea, Real Madrid. So could be a repeat of last year's final, could be a Madrid derby in the semi-finals of that one. Now let's see, just to make sure that this is all going to plan, that the winners of quarter-final 4, which is Benfica Liverpool, will play the winners, obviously, of quarter-final 3. So home advantage in the first leg goes to the winners of Benfica or Liverpool, whereas Villarreal or Bayern Munich will be their opponents in that one. Right, I'm going to draw breath. They're just going to do, by the way, who the home team is in the final, which is nice to know if you're planning your kit or whatever to buy if you're already dreaming of the final. So Manchester City against Atletico. The winners of that, Chelsea, Real Madrid. Paul, predict that semi-final.
I'll go Manchester City, Chelsea. There you go. It's going to be, I think Chelsea's got the toughest football English clubs there, without a shadow of a doubt. Real Madrid, the way they dispatch in that second leg, just shows you the quality in there. But Chelsea won't go easily. On Man City, I just think City over 2 legs. The quality they've got, just on the pitch, but in the squad, will have too much for Atletico, as well as they've done it United. Manchester City, different level. Great so far. So I can see City going through. It's tough for Chelsea, but I just think that the know-how they've had in the last couple of years, and especially being the champions, might just be enough for them to see Real Madrid away. But what a semi-final that would be. It was a final last year. Hopefully, well, obviously I want City to go through, but hopefully Chelsea go through and have an all-English semi-final. But at this stage, Rob, as well, Eddie's been there. When you get to the quarter-finals, it doesn't really matter who you play, because there's 8 top players in there. When you get to the semi-finals, it's the 4 best teams in Europe. Anybody who gets to the final deserves it, because they've got to beat the best to get there.
Yeah, the other side of the draw, Eddie, Benfica, Liverpool, Villarreal, Bayern Munich. Who goes through from that one?
Bayern for me. Bayern are too strong, and Liverpool. I would say Bayern, Liverpool. For me, I would go in that direction.
Okay, so that's that one. So if you're Liverpool, Chelsea, or Manchester City, Eddie, which is the easiest half of the draw? You don't want to play Bayern at the best of times, do you? So there's an argument maybe Liverpool, if they're plotting their course to the final, have a tough way to go, but then Man City, Chelsea have Atletico and Real Madrid. So which is the toughest side here, Eddie?
I think the first side that we talked about, I think Atletico are such a hard nut to crack. They're really difficult to play against. Everybody knows what they're like. And, Pep's come up against them plenty of times. I'm sure he's got a game plan to how to break them down, but it's going to be difficult 2 games without doubt. Chelsea, Real Madrid, as I said earlier, it's going to be different from. I felt Chelsea would be a season because they were far stronger, but this season improved drastically under Ancelotti, and I think it's going to be a different ball altogether. So I think the first 2 games, in my opinion, without doubt, the more difficult.
Yeah, I've just seen the face of Emilio Butragueño in the draw, Eddie. He wasn't giving anything away, a poker face. But Real Madrid then for Chelsea. Obviously a repeat of last season. For those who are old enough, a repeat of, obviously, of the 1971 Cup Winners' Cup final. Now, that was a game draw, and they stayed out in Greece, and they played the replay 2 days later, and Chelsea beat Real Madrid in that one. You were talking about them, and Carlo Ancelotti, he'll know all about Chelsea, but he knows all about winning the Champions League as well, doesn't he? And this sort of combination he's got of Benzema and Vinicius Jr. at the moment is absolutely potent, isn't it?
Yeah, they're on fire. They're on absolute fire. Benzema, I don't think he gets enough credit for his ability to, his movement off the ball and his finishing is unbelievable. So the two of them at the moment are absolutely on fire, and that's why I say for Chelsea it's a different proposition. It's a different Real Madrid facing from last season, and they'll be well aware of that. And again, with Ancelotti's ability to get around his players, to believe in what they're doing, to enjoy what they're doing, that's what he's well famed for doing. And you can see that the players are enjoying how they're playing this season, and it's turned into results. So, as I said, they're to the fish from last season.
Yeah, but last season when they played each other, Eddie, Real Madrid weren't playing at the Bernabeu. It was their second stadium. There's no fans in there. It was a wet and cold night in Madrid for that first leg. Does it make a difference this season having fans at the away leg? Now, we've still got to get into the debate about whether Chelsea will or will not have fans for the home game. But for that away game out in Madrid, how much of an impact and a difference does that make?
It makes a massive, as Paul alluded to, big players thrive off the pressure of the fans, and they find 5%, 10% more for the big games. They're able to deliver a little bit more, and that's why they're playing at the very top of the game. So, yes, make a difference. It will definitely make a difference.
Yeah, let's get to Man City. Paul, shall we? Atletico Madrid, they've never faced Atletico Madrid in a competitive game, but one thing's for sure, Pep Guardiola and Diego Simeone know all about each other, don't they?
Yeah, they would have come up against each other loads and loads of times, obviously, from Pep's time at Barcelona, and it's, we all know what Simeone's teams are like. They're so difficult, dogged to play against. The three, more often than not, have five at the back. The three midfield, João Felix, superstar, and Griezmann, Luis Suarez, at the minute. So just shows you they've got that. I've touched on it before. Against Simeone's teams quite a lot. They'll have a plan how to play against them, and I just feel that the way City, obviously, you can see there's going to have a majority, like they do in most games. And then you've got the quality of Grealish, Mark, Foden, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling. You can go on and the real quality to break them down. But it's going to be an interesting couple of games because two complete contrasting styles. And as I said, Atletico, they're not at the best of seasons in the Liga and have struggled a little bit. So they'll be buoyed by United, although the two are great. But I just feel as if Manchester City could just a level up for them and a step too far, just with the quality that Manchester City have got.
Yeah, obviously they dispatched Manchester United, but they were runners-up in Group B to Liverpool. They're fourth in La Liga at the moment. The idea is that they're perhaps Atletico, not the Atletico of old, but still potent. And is there a sense that João Felix as well is beginning to show, Paul, the potential that people saw in him?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a superstar. He's so technically gifted, and he's got such great awareness. And it's took him a couple of seasons to find his feet and find his form, which was a huge transfer fee at the time. I think it surprised everybody that there's never ever been doubt in the quality that he's had. Robert, it's just getting consistency in his performances and the way they set him. I think it really suits him. Talking about the 3-5 at the back or the 3-5 across the middle of the park, he's got the freedom to go and get the ball. He's technically fantastic. He can dribble, and he finds little pockets of space, and he's got a great passing and a great finish. So He's going to be the one player that City are going to have to look out for, because he roams all over. He's so difficult to pick up. You know, one minute he'll be out wide, next minute he'll be in the middle of midfield, then before you know it, he's playing off the back of the centre forward. So, but fantastic talent, and it's great to see him eventually fulfilling that.
OK, we're going to turn our attention to Liverpool next, but let's bring you just a recap of that quarter-final draw. So Chelsea will play Real Madrid, Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, Bayern Munich, and Benfica, Liverpool. 5th and 6th of April, and the 12th and 13th of April for those. And we now know the semi-final draw as well. So it'd be City or Atletico, Chelsea goes Real Madrid, Benfica, Liverpool against Villarreal or Bayern Munich.